Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the June 26th Planning Board meeting. Starting a little bit late, unfortunately. The meeting before ran a little over. I'm going to try to find a way to get around the double booking in the future. My name's Dan Edmiston, present tonight as a Planning Board member. We also have a number of new members. Richard Clark is a member. He's present tonight. Steve Wetruba is also a new member. He's present tonight, as is Lou Perrin, excuse me. First time saying that. Don Johnson is also present, as is our clerk, Carol Savard. Before we start to get into the actual agenda, I just kind of wanted to reach out on a personal note and say thank you to all the board members who have been serving for quite a long time and are no longer on the board. There's Russ Giglio has been a member for the past 6 months or so. Did a great job. He was here. A lot of questions, a lot of insight. He's going to be missed. There's also Pam Humphreys. She was a longtime member on the board. She's going to be missed as well. And then, of course, our former chairman and long time member, Mr. Guy Horn. He's brought a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge to the board, and that's going to be missed. We're going to have a hard time filling in his shoes here and following in his footsteps. We're going to do the best we can. Just want to say thank you to all three of them. First item on the agenda pretty much is a reorganization of the board. With the board's approval, I'd like to table this until next meeting. Give everybody a chance to kind of decide what we're going to do and how we're going to do it.
No objection. In 2 weeks.
In 2 weeks, right?
Yep.
Can I take a vote on that? So if I can get a motion from someone just to table the reorganization of the board?
In that case, will you be acting chair for this meeting?
I can do that.
As the third executive committee member, so to speak, you would take that on. That's right.
Okay.
The clerk of the board, yeah, you will be chairing it anyway. Yeah.
Thank you, Don. So can I get a motion?
I will make a motion to table the reorganization of the board to the next meeting, and for Mr. Edmiston to stand in as chair for this meeting.
A second?
Second.
All right. A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is the approval of the meeting minutes from our May 20th meeting. That was actually the town meeting. As I'm the only member who was there, how do we go about approving?
The way it works is that pretty much if the other members read it and understand it.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, I checked with the town clerk's office earlier today and subsequently through her, the Attorney General's office. And as you noted, you are the only surviving member of the board who was in attendance at that meeting. The thought was that we could substitute the video of the meeting, but the meeting was held in the cafeteria at Shepherd Hill, as I understand it, and there is no existing video. The opinion apparently from the AG's office was that if we are comfortable with the format of the meeting and that it was properly posted and properly conducted, then we could move forward with approving those minutes, even though we had not been in attendance ourselves.
All right, so I can attest that all those conditions were met. It was
And I would move that we accept the minutes of the May 20th, 2019 meeting.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? If I could get you to sign this and pass around, if I can use your minutes as well for yours. Sure. Can you sign that one?
Oh, hey.
Next item is an ANR plan for Danielle Jacobson, Eric Jacobson, the owner, property located at 87 Dudley, Oxford Road. There's one of these meeting minutes is in your folder. Could you take that copy out? Speaking, we need two signatures, we need two signed copies. You guys can both sign in, please. Yep. Yes, please.
They're not in. It's on the signatures are with Dawn, so there's not copies of the A&R.
Okay. Thank you.
No, there's just two, so I got the first one here.
Okay.
And then the last two. Maybe you guys should just get you a copy, pass it on for signatures.
This here?
Yep. Excellent. We've got two.
Move it up a little.
Thanks. Hi, doing well. Make a presentation?
My name is Danielle Jacobson, current owner of 87 Dudley Oxford Road, and I'm doing about getting a piece of property that's owned by my brother that's next to our property that he's no longer maintaining or paying taxes that we found out. So I've had the land surveyed, and I would like to put it in my name on Lot A, which is adjacent to our property. We're looking to maintain the property. I do have someone to mow the field and take care of the field,
Yep.
and that's all we're looking to do.
So you're not splitting the property, a piece of property?
The Lot A is a piece of a bigger piece of property, which is called Mason Road is the property location.
Yep.
And I paid all the back taxes on that piece of property to bring it up to current. And all I'm looking to do is get a piece that's Lot A, which is on that abuts our property, to put in my name and my name only.
So basically joining it to your property then?
I want to keep it separate from 87 Dudley Oxford Road. I just want it in my name. We own 87 Dudley Oxford
Yep.
Road. Lot A, I just want in my name and my name only.
Don, we received the plan, all the, according.
There are a couple of waivers. One was the topography, which is relatively flat, and again, they're not really gonna build it for quite some time. Is that correct? They're gonna build on it for quite some time.
Can't hear what
You're not gonna be building on it for some time, is that correct?
We're not building anything on the
No.
property. We have someone to mow and maintain the field, which is not being done at this time.
And what was the other waiver that we're looking for?
That would be the pitch of the driveway. Because again, they're not building it for quite some time. And it's relatively flat to the roadway over there anyway.
All right, so first we need to entertain accepting the plan with the waivers. Am I correct there, Don?
That's correct.
All right, gentlemen, so bylaws state what an ANR plan has to have on it. Topography is one of the items, as well as the pitch of the driveway. We're being basically being asked for a waiver on these two. The topography, this site is very flat. I mean, I drove past it about an hour and a half ago.
Yes,
Drive past it twice
it's
a day
a
anyway.
field.
The field, so topography in this sense, in my opinion, isn't really needed. The pitch of the driveway would only be important, in my opinion, once it's being built on.
Yeah.
We're not building on it right now.
We're not
There's no
building on
planned
it.
driveway, so again, I don't see any issues with accepting that as well. If it's the board's pleasure, I can accept a motion to accept both of these waivers.
Is it my understanding that these things might be reviewed at a future date should the building be in the plans?
That's correct.
Would be the building plans as well.
Right, understand.
At some point in time.
I would make a motion that we approve the plan as presented with the waivers indicated.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, so we've accepted the plan, we've accepted the waivers, correct? Now we need to talk about the plan?
I think we did it in one motion. We can probably do that. Look to, yeah, if you look to have a motion that the plan is, can be endorsed, I think you can do that as well. I think that the way the motion is worded, it covered both.
I think the motion did include both, yes. The intent of the motion was to include both.
All right, do we need to get an assessor's map number and everything in here in the motion as well, just to kind of make it official, or is it clear?
Don't really have to, but you could do that. It might be helpful, might make it more official.
So if I can recommend amending the motion to include the assessor's map number 107, lot 17, at 87 Dudley Oxford Road.
We have to vote the amendment.
You just amend, if you make an amendment to the motion, we can accept that and vote on it.
All right, I I'm not quite sure I got the wording on that, but I'd like to move that we amend the motion to conform with the verbiage as stated by the chair.
Second? Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I have a question. So it's going to be completely separate from our current property, correct, with just my name on it?
That's my understanding, yes.
Okay.
That's how we decide to do it. What we've done here is created a lot that can be built upon with the subdivision control for law purposes and for zoning purposes, because it has adequate area and frontage for district.
But it just
I
has
can't-
Danielle's name on it,
That's,
correct?
however you want to do that with your attorney or whatever you want to do. Everything we've done is establish a building lot.
Okay.
Yeah, so in our plan, there's no names on it right now. We're just making sure that the lot is, conforms to zoning and
Okay.
is buildable. So we have the frontage, we have the area, all those things that we need. So how it gets recorded, as far as names is
That's the
concerned,
next
is
step.
more of an attorney thing, yep.
Okay.
No problem. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for your patience as we found our home.
Oh, no problem. Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Do we get the plans back so we can
Yeah,
submit
I'm gonna
them?
try to set up a little signing party here real
Okay.
quick.
Don't leave yet. We'll get them to you before you leave.
I'm sorry?
We'll get them to you in a few minutes.
Okay.
Okay.
No problem. Thank you very much.
All right, so I'm gonna knock my glasses over, I can see this coming.
You don't have to use the Sharpie on anything except the original.
Right. So I'm gonna try to sign these in a nice group, guys, and then if we can just kind of move around and try to continue the signatures without, everything's nicely put together right now.
We need to sign 2 copies.
Only 2?
Well, one of us moves the town clerk.
The 26th?
We do.
We do?
Not new ones.
Oh, not new ones, okay. Yes, begin with my penmanship is a right for one.
One second, let me just get. Alright, so sign the Mylar with that and choose the pen for the other one. Give it
It's coloring.
No.
Couldn't make the Monday night meeting. Couldn't make the Monday night meeting.
Monday Night Football, yeah.
So,
Especially the Patriots and the occasionally. Oh, he's being left-handed, then.
Yeah.
next up, while we finish these signatures, is an A&R plan for Depot Road, Charlton LLC, property located at Noble Street, Old Mason Road.
Someplace you'd like these, Mr. Chairman?
Just get back to
I think we need a couple more signatures on these.
Oh, we do. Sorry.
the. I think we keep a couple copies, give them a couple, or how's that work?
We'll take 2.
On the right, in the little box.
We take 2. You have the original, we take 2.
Yeah.
Date on there?
I dated, yeah. So set them.
Would you like to give one?
Just choose. Do I need both of the signed copies back, or do we do this?
No. You file one with the town clerk and one with our office.
So we keep both of these, and they get anything else, or we sign all of them?
We only give it to Mylar.
You want all the board members on this?
We can keep these and give us my life back.
My lot, they're gonna take that.
I just thought all of
Want all board members to sign this?
Yes,
this one was one.
two, yeah.
Oh, you did?
No, the other one is just fine.
Okay.
Oh, okay, all right.
The paperwork, we keep all that, right?
I didn't realize much happened at the library.
No.
We got books down there.
Signed in
evening.
already?
Sorry?
Signed in already? Did you sign in already?
Yeah, I signed.
Excellent.
Nick Condek from Summit Engineering. As far as I know, for this particular plan, we've submitted the Mylar, the copies, and the Form A. I believe we're all set. We met the planning board's requests prior to it.
Yeah, if I remember correctly from past meetings, we talked about the Old Mason Road, about how it has to be constructed to meet fire department requirements. The plan that was submitted just basically shows the subdivision of the two lots, but there's nothing else shown on that. But is there going to be anything as far as showing the road, how it's going to be built out, or the location of the houses are we going to see, or are we just going right now with the separation?
All right, so you're saying that you wanted to see the road and the house locations on the A&R?
My understanding was is that we weren't talking about an A and R prior to, and now that we have a plan with an A and R and a statement from an attorney. So I just trying to figure out why things changed in the first place.
What do you mean as things changed? Are you just saying between the plan we had before and the plan we submitted, the A&R plan? Or,
I'm just trying to recall from former meeting what we had discussed.
yeah, so we brought a plan to you, to the board, and it showed everything you requested. I mean, I have the plan right here. So this isn't the A&R plan.
Right.
But this is the plan we brought to you, to the board before, you know, showing our house locations, you know, septic, you know, where the road's gonna be. We have the cross section. But usually you don't show all those on an A&R plan.
No, correct, and I guess where I'm kind of going with this is, my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that planning board has the plan right now, it's in our receipt. We have 21 days to make a determination if this is actually is an A&R plan or not. And that since we've heard from your client's attorney, I'd like to hear from the town attorney as well, get his position on this. Don, does that sound fair?
Be done, sure.
Yep. Does your attorney is making an argument that cites a lot of legal precedents that I'm not 100% familiar with. So I just wanted to have him go over it and kind of confirm a lot of the things that are in here. To me, there are a couple items in here that are kind of open-ended. You know, opinion of the planning board is stated in here a couple times. There's a statement about, let me see if I can find it, about the use of the road as a private way, how it was continued, that is presently used by the town. I'd like to find out who it's being used by, and to have that be able to confirm by whatever department's using it. So there's a number of items that I feel are kind of open, and then I'd like to talk to others to find out if they're in agreement with, especially the attorney, to find out if this is an A&R plan or not. I'm also a little bit confused because it's, in my opinion, is my understanding is that it's been an approved subdivision already that's being further subdivided. This isn't just a lot being subdivided, this is part of a subdivision. So I'm not 100% clear on any kind of legal definitions there as well.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, hasn't it already been 21 days since we've submitted it? No?
That is an A&R plan.
It's 12.
It's been how many done?
So it's 12.
Okay, all right. All right, yeah, so I was, all right.
So if it was submitted 12 days ago and we don't meet for 2 weeks, we're not going to meet the 21 days then, are we?
No,
That's right.
and 9 days to go.
Kind of putting us in a bind.
If you're not gonna take action on it because you think it shows a subdivision, there's two things you can do. Withdraw it without prejudice, resubmit it in 2 weeks after town council's had a look at it. Plus you can turn down the plan. But if you're gonna look at it as a subdivision,
Well, I don't know how to look at it. That's why I'd like to have the town attorney make a determination, and I'm not sure how to look at it. You know, my interpretation doesn't necessarily mean it's the legal one or the right one.
yeah, but that's the two options you have. Withdraw it, resubmit it in a week or two, after town council's had a look at it. It'll be 8th of July.
So who has to withdraw it?
The applicant.
Hmm?
The applicant has to withdraw it if you.
Do they agree to the withdrawal? Problem is that we didn't meet 2 weeks ago. We didn't have a planning board 2 weeks ago,
Yeah,
so we didn't meet. And this is our first meeting basically since we spoke about this, a month ago or so. So that's my conundrum right now. Is this is the first time the board's actually met to discuss this as an A&R plan. So as you've heard earlier, the chairman was gone. We didn't have a time to actually go out and talk to our attorney and get the attorney's opinion on this. What happens if we go over the 21 days and this doesn't happen until in 2 weeks?
Town clerk endorses it.
Hmm?
Goes over the 21 days, the town clerk endorses it, basically.
Right. So are we basically then backed ourselves into a corner? Do we have to take a vote on it right now? And can we make that vote contingent on approval of town council?
Kind of difficult with Form A. Usually, the A&R plan, usually they're ready to go. This is kind of a unique set of circumstances, I'll admit.
You got 3 new members.
Yeah, I know.
Just, know
It's kind of a
nothing
unique
about.
set of circumstances. Yeah, to say the least. But I think the only reason for submitting a subdivision control really is to get some kind of a performance guarantee. And if it's being constructed the way the Conservation Commission looked at it tonight, well, that's one thing. We need some kind of performance guarantee on here. The only way to really do that is through the subdivision control law, technically. You don't have to hold a hearing to determination, but we need some kind of security from the planning board, for the planning board, I should say. Whether it be a bond or a covenant, the road will be built first. You get a performance guarantee, maybe that would satisfy it. Usually you don't do that on an A&R plan, because usually an A&R plan, once you sign it, it's ready to go. A unique set of circumstances.
Are you willing to withdraw the plan and have it received tonight so that we can meet again in 2 weeks after town council? We can get their opinion?
I don't think I'm in the position to make that decision. I mean,
If this is an individual piece of land someplace, it would be pretty much open and shut. But we're actually part of a subdivision. It's a part of a subdivision that's been approved. Right now, I don't know how that subdivision plan was approved. And there's been precedent or precedent stated by an attorney that I'm not an attorney. I don't have the legal knowledge to speak to that about right now. So I just would like to have some time so we can just talk to our attorney, assuming that your attorney is correct. Our attorney is going to, the town attorney is going to say, yes, he's correct, and it's basically a done deal. It's just that I would like the opportunity to be able to have that counsel.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, what is the date of the communication from council?
May 21st?
May 21st. So that again falls outside a 21-day period.
Well, this is, this wasn't to us, this was to,
This is the applicant.
yeah, this was back to the applicant.
Voted-
So they
voted for
they
the
received this
applicant,
from
They
their attorney on
received
May
that on the
21st.
21st, and the board was received it as of what date?
I don't have that information. Don, do you know when this was?
It's in the application form, 612.
I'm sorry,
612, it's in the
612?
application form.
So, in effect, there's some documentation here that was not received until 6/12. Does that alter the
application.
time plan in terms of the 21 days?
It's the application.
Right, but as I understand it, this communication pertains to the application, is that correct?
Right.
So if there's something that is not what it was prior to the receipt of that document, right? Or at least the question.
I'm sorry, I'm not following that.
All right, we have a communication from an attorney,
Yes,
which was received by the board on 6/12.
yes.
All right, and you've mentioned the 21 days. I'm saying, in effect, that something happened on 6/12, and does that not constitute a change in terms of the timeline as far as the 21-day issue is concerned?
That's when it starts.
Because that had not been reviewed prior to its receipt. And as of you, I think you've just heard, it has not been reviewed by town council as of yet. In other words, 6/11, you had something. 6/12, it's different. Whatever that difference may be. And that's our quandary. We're trying to figure out, I think, what that is.
The biggest difference is the application itself.
I'm sorry? I'm sorry.
Sorry, my voice is cracking.
Atmospheric conditions
Yeah, it's the
working in the
fan.
background here, and I'm having a heck of a time
My
hearing
voice
this.
is cracking, let me try it again this way. The thing that's different is that it's the date the application was received in the office.
Date the application was received in the office, but are we talking two different things? There's the date of the application's receipt date, and then there's the date of receipt of whatever documentation we have
I
from
think it all
council.
came in together.
They all came together. And
For all practical purposes, they
the
came in
effective
together.
date being 6/12?
Right.
So when does the 21-day window begin? Is it on 6/12?
6/12.
Yeah.
Well, 6/13 is the first day, and so on.
What are we looking at today? Today's the 25th, so we're 13 days into that. We effectively have another 8 days or so. And is that sufficient time to get reviewed by town
Well, the
council?
problem is that we don't meet until the 4th, until the 11th of
Next
July.
scheduled meeting.
Right.
8th.
4th is a Thursday, so it'll be the 11th, right?
This is 11th, okay, so.
Oh, we get the 4th of July, don't we?
Yeah, that's right.
Doesn't that
Okay.
work out of our calendar?
We meet on the 10th.
Yeah, okay. Twenty-first day is the 4th of July.
I'm sorry?
21st day is the 4th of July.
First day, okay. That wouldn't count.
It's the day after. Best.
Is that the only letter we have?
Yeah, we'll send out an email, so.
Right.
All right, so I feel that we have a hardship situation, even though that the town received the plan on the 12th. Planning board didn't meet, we had no time to act because we didn't have a board. For those circumstances, I'd like to ask the applicant to withdraw. If the applicant's not willing to withdraw, then I'd like to personally hold to the statement as defined in, I'm gonna get the literature here wrong, the GLC 41, paragraph 81L defines a subdivision as a division of tract of land in 2 or more lots, but expressly provides that, and there's 3 exceptions in here. Exception number C is the one that your attorney pointed out, and I'll read it. A way in existence when the subdivision control law became effective in the city or town in which the land lies, having, in the opinion of the planning board, sufficient width suitable grades, and adequate construction to provide for the needs of vehicular traffic. So if you're not willing to withdraw, I would like to state that, in my opinion, maybe the planning board shares the opinion, that exception C is not met. So,
All right, so if we agree to withdraw, will a decision have to be made the next meeting?
the next meeting, all we need is time to just talk to attorney. We'll ask for a quick statement on it, assuming that your attorney is correct, there's not gonna be an issue. And we take it up at next meeting and then go with a quick approval.
But that doesn't, well. So the 21-day period, does that get extended? Does this have a new start date?
I would suggest, if you're withdrawing it now, it would have a new start date. But
be
we
tomorrow, it could be
wouldn't
next
hold,
week.
yeah, we wouldn't hold ourselves to the 21 days, we'd hold ourselves to the next meeting. So that's 2 weeks, right? 2 weeks.
Yep, 2 weeks.
And we'd approve, it. We just discuss it then, and we follow the advice of the attorney then.
All right. Okay, yeah, so we'll accept the
Perfect.
withdrawal.
Oh, no, appreciate you working with us on this.
I
It
don't
just,
want to get you in trouble.
Your name, sir?
Tony Segura.
all right, no, appreciate it. I mean, we're kind of in a tough spot here, and appreciate you working with us.
I
It's just a matter of just
understand,
getting to
I
attorney.
understand. So, yeah, just go to the next meeting and.
Okay. So basically, this plan is going to be withdrawn tonight, resubmitted to Don tomorrow morning, and then we'll talk about this and draw our conclusions based on attorney's advice at our next meeting on July 10th.
That's what you're all prejudice, because Tony doesn't have to pay the fee again. He already paid the fee,
Correct.
so I don't have a problem with that.
All right,
Okay.
perfect. All right, thank you for your time, your patience in working with us. We do appreciate it.
All right.
Vote on it.
Vote out the
Accept the
withdrawal?
withdrawal without prejudice.
So can I get a motion to accept the withdrawal without prejudice, or with prejudice?
Without,
Without prejudice.
So move.
A second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, thank you very much.
appreciate it.
All right,
If
thank
you can give us a written statement. I'd like to withdraw at this point, resubmit tomorrow, whatever you want to, as long as it's signed. I'd like to withdraw my plan now, resubmit tomorrow, whatever. As long as it's a statement that you agree to withdraw,
I don't quite understand.
as long as we have a written statement that you agree to the withdrawal. I have to file that with the town clerk sometime before you resubmit.
So he just wants a written statement saying that you accept what they just voted
Except the
on.
withdrawal.
Hey, what did you- Can you do it?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, audience, appreciate your patience. Next item is another A&R plan for Eric and Jane Johnson, property located off Pierpont Road.
Pass that one back to Don, please.
Just want to come on up and sign in.
There seem to be more depth of field in these tabs out than I am. Is this referenced in here somewhere? Is that?
No, that's another A&R.
There's nothing under the steps. I know, I kept looking at it.
Impressive collection of tabs. You see that?
I know.
Very cool.
We have to be Tony Segura.
All right, appreciate your patience.
Before lot release.
So, we're looking to, we've already had, I think it's Lot B. I have a copy of it myself, yeah. Let's see, is this the old copy?
Yeah, that's
copy.
But you guys have the new copy with the Mylar.
So, you looking for Lot B, or?
Yeah, let me just take a look at your copy.
Oops,
Okay, lot C.
let's see. We'll take that plan with you so you can refer to it.
Lot C and B were together,
There's one copy down there.
and it was approved. It was approved to be a building lot at a previous meeting.
Excuse me,
That like B or C?
excuse me,
Together, they were together.
excuse me,
So
without prejudice on here somewhere?
all we did was separate the two lots. And we're just looking for approval because the person in the back would like to absorb Lot B. It's a non-buildable lot. So
So, is the lot with the house currently on it included in Lot C, or is that just a neighbor?
Lot C is gonna be sold to be, I have somebody who would like to build a house on it, and it was already approved to be a building lot, a buildable lot. And the Lot B, for somebody else who, Anthony Garcia, that lives in the back there, he just would like that as a buffer zone and absorb that.
Okay.
So that's the only thing what we're doing is we just put a line across, and we're just looking for approval of
Is there an address for the houses that's planned to be built or sold here?
Lot C.
Yeah, well, on our plan, Lot C has an access road leading to it, and below Lot C appears to be a second piece of property with an existing house on it.
Oh, the existing house is there now. They're
Okay.
building that in the process.
And
That's
what's
my
the address
daughter's
there?
lot.
Do you know the street address?
117.
117.
All right.
That's our daughter.
Okay, so yeah, I drove past it earlier, that gray house, it's already basically
Yeah,
up, you got the access road going up towards Lot C?
Yeah,
Okay,
and that's all approved and deeded
yep,
to Lot C. And all we're looking to do is split that across the back for Lot B to be sold off separately at this
Alright.
point.
It specifically says in the plan that it's not for building purposes, so.
Yeah,
It's
a
it doesn't have
non-buildable
frontage on the
lot.
roadway, so it's a land swap sort of thing between two avoiding landowners, so it's not a.
so the address 117 Pierpont with the house on it, is there an area, there's not an area of that lot shown here on the plan? So Lot C and that has already been subdivided, am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, Lot C and B were together, and it was approved to be a buildable lot. All we did was separate.
I'm just having trouble understanding this line between the two properties here. So is Lot C and the lot, have already been separated?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
Yes.
separated already?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now it's just Lot B and Lot C.
So basically what's happening is Lot C and Lot B are together. Lot B, they're looking to sell or have over to the owner behind them. So it's a non-buildable lot, he's just gonna have that property. And both Lot C and the existing house, they meet all the zoning requirements.
These are both buildable
They've already been
lots.
approved, so
And
that's
this
really not any of our business, we're just talking
becomes
about
a-
Lot B.
This becomes a non-conforming lot, but that they're,
Not exactly non-conforming, it's just that it's non-buildable.
Right.
okay.
So it's
Right.
non-buildable and it'll become part of the
It doesn't have any
lot
frontage
behind
on a
it.
public way or a way approved in subdivision control or whatever.
Were there any waivers that we had to accept with this done? Looks like we got a scale, we got topography.
Well, obviously, we don't have the driveway elevation, but.
Yeah,
not
but it's now-
driveway. Other than that, that's about it. Location here.
Do you see what it says? This is a non-buildable lot. You see what's on the plan? Not sitting below. Right there.
Oh, okay. To answer your question, no, I didn't see it.
Yeah, the driveway is already deeded an access to Lot C. It's already a deeded.
Been to ZBA on that too, if you remember, came about a year ago, they go to the ZBA because of the steepness of the frontage on that lot. Well said with that.
So is there any official deed book numbers that we should be? Is it, there it is. The only deed, I'm just trying to figure out a way that we can make a motion to accept this, just to identify where we are and everything.
Right here.
You got it right there?
Location, yep.
So I'm just looking for deed book number or something so we can kind of make it official in the motion.
There's plan references that are Registry of Deeds, that's not sufficient, I suppose.
All right, so,
These are not sufficient, as noted here, plain references, Worcester County Register of Deeds, right-hand side.
it probably is, yeah, I missed that. All right, so does anybody on the board have any further questions for the applicants?
Nope, no?
We're good to go? So I'd like to, the board's approval, entertain a motion to divide the land between Lot B and Lot C as shown in the A&R plan for the Worcester District Registry of Deeds Book 58799, page 33. Part of the Dudley Accessor's Tax Plate, map number 204, plot number 15. So here's such a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Get some signatures for you.
Yeah.
Do we have the Mylar?
Yeah, yeah.
If you guys have signed this first. then we'll
Don't
get
wrinkle the Mylar. Don't wrinkle
Last
it.
time they went to return for another signature because the registry didn't accept their plan because it had a wrinkle in it.
Yes,
Oh,
it
that
had
was
a
the water
wrinkle
stain,
in it.
wasn't
The Mylar had a wrinkle in it, and the Registry of Deeds would not accept it. We had to go back to the engineer and have it, because it looked like a piece of the property.
Yeah.
You're putting the pressure on us. Now I'm a little bit afraid to sign.
Be very gentle
Do you
with the
have
Mylar.
Is that the only one that needs to be signed?
Yeah, we get these two here,
Okay.
and we'll get that Mylar back to you in a second. Do you have that marker in here? The marker? Don, can you get us the marker?
This is the sign, this right?
Yep. Get the marker?
Yeah. Why don't you guys just go and sign, we pass it around.
First day. It's okay, I
Those
wasn't
arms
sign-
get stuck.
I wasn't in the mid-signature when you did that.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I was looking for the driveway, trying to identify it. You didn't have an address. I drove past the first time and I thought I had it.
Yeah, it goes right up
Kind of
front.
sure.
Yep.
Bye.
Good evening.
Those go back to Don. We have to get his signature on one of these. Do we start a signature on these yet?
Oh, we do. Second plan signature?
Yeah, we just need to, just pick out one of those and, you got them already? Is this the same one, or is this a
No,
different one?
it's the same one. I don't see any signatures. Oh, we do. So we need a signature, Dawn's?
Yeah, we should be good. If you can just roll that up and give it back to him. We're good to go. All right. See if we can get back on track. Our next item is a discussion status report on the finishing construction of and acceptance of the uncompleted, unaccepted subdivision streets.
Something I believe in your notebooks about Piasta Road, that's the only one we really had any movement on the past few weeks.
It's under F.
F, It's apparently gonna be done sometime this year, so they say.
So that was Piasta Road?
That's right.
All right. So nothing on Pierpont or Rocky Hill?
Nothing really new. Over the past few weeks.
Country View?
No, but I understand that the applicant on that one is working on the as-built plans.
And Tobin Farm?
Same thing.
Next item, final inspections associated with site plans, including the AMP solar.
No more on that one. Still
In
under
there?
construction. Still doing landscaping, I believe. Finished the landscaping.
All right, no public hearing tonight. Unfinished and old business, discussion on the status of the economic development planning.
Well, a lot of that work is really ramping up to begin next month,
Okay.
the new fiscal year, so I don't really have too much to update you on at this point. But I'll get into that more at the next meeting. I can go through it if you like, but,
Now we're running low on time. If you don't mind tabling that till next time would be
I'd
appreciated.
have more information too, that would be much better.
Okay. Anything on the planner's plate?
That would be it.
That would be it. Comments from the planning board? Anybody have anything they want to add?
I would just like to thank the chair for having filled in and run the meeting as efficiently as under the circumstances was probably possible.
I was shaken.
You know, we got a late start and that caused some initial confusion as well, so I think kudos to you, sir.
Thank you. Anybody else? Comments from the audience? All right.
I have one more thing for you. I sent you a copy of that planner's handbook.
Yes.
Yeah, you already had one, so I don't think you get one in this one. You want one, I'll be glad to print one for you.
I got it printed already. We're good. All right.
Copies there. I thought the Bill was gonna get you one.
I thought I
Give
got
him
one
two.
today, but I'll take another one.
84 pages of,
I didn't put the whole thing because there's some things in there that we don't really get into as a board. It's just basically, it's old, but it's good.
okay.
Gives you a general idea what the board does, how they do it, what times they have
I
do it in,
think I
so
got
that
one
sort of
already.
thing.
The planners was here. I'm amazed at the sentence structure I got. They just go on and on and on, and,
Written by lawyers.
yeah, apparently one of the key requirements for successfully completing law school is chronic insomnia. If you can't, this stuff will put you to sleep if nothing will.
If nothing else from the planning board, I'd accept a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Second? All those in favor?
Aye. I don't know what
All right,
votes
meeting
passed.
adjourned. Thank
Two
you.
vouchers here to do, we usually do them in, with the two executive committee members, 4 to 3. But since we don't have an executive committee, I guess we have to be 3 out of 4.
And there's the zoning
Just want to
bylaws.
sign them?
Yes.
Carol, you smoke
Fire.
campfires?
3 vouchers here.